Hey, everybody, I want to welcome you to our special Wednesday night edition of Zoom Networking. And I'm really, really pleased to introduce my good friend, Andrea Lane, who is from the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast. So it's kind of cool that we, cover all the bases, have people from all over the country. So without any further ado, Andrea, the mic is yours. And, give us the good stuff.
So just a quick thing about me. I got back into real estate to build a passive income portfolio, so my son never has to work a W-2 job again. And I'm happy to say that effective now, he can make a decision to retire or not. I think he's going to stay until December in his W-2, but by the time he turns 30, he will be a multimillionaire, and that was my goal for him. So I'm really pleased. The other thing I wanted to do was minimize the time that I spend in the business. And that was my goal. And I really need to change this frame because I love what I do. My part of the business is to network and talk to people. So I talk to people a lot, like probably 10 hours a day. I don't think I'm going to be giving that up or shortening it. The only thing that I'm going to do is have more vacation breaks. I think that's ultimately what it's going to do. I love networking and I love being in front of people. And I want to thank you all for being here. And JJ, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. It's really exciting for me to be on another call, not my Zoom calls. So I'm really happy to be here.
We're pleased to have you, Andrea.
So a little bit about my company, if I can figure it. Okay. So I'm with Coast to Coast Turnkey. We've been I bought my first house in 1977, so I've been around real estate for a while. But we formed Coast to Coast Turnkey in late 2019, like right before COVID. It's always a good time to start a business right before everything blows up. Fortunately, I have 7 genius partners, and so they've been able to pull off fabulous work. We've grown from a 0 to a $1 million company, and we're going to continue to grow. What we do is we go out and help enough people get what they want so that we get what we want. And so we help people with turnkey rentals. We do it in a different way than most rental companies. And I'm not going to spend any time talking about my business right now, but anytime you want to know about it, I do love to talk about it. So today, what I'd like to do is make this, JJ, if it's okay, a little interactive and ask questions and get you to answer and give me some, suggestions that I could build this out a little better, right? So this is list building made simple. This is not what packages to use to build lists. There are so many good packages out there. And if you want to talk to people about good packages, Chris, and I never say his name right, Chris Podokawa. Thank you. He has a fabulous assortment of products to use. We use Podio. We use Mailbox Power. We use RealFlow. We use other direct mail. So we use many different list builders. But this is not about getting the data on the list. It's about how to decide what needs to be on the list and what to be prepared for when you have your list. I think everybody teaches you a million different ways to market and to get people on a list, but they don't really spend time talking about what do you really want on that list? Who do you really want to be talking to? And it's going to be different for different businesses. So if you wholesale, or if you're looking for private money lenders, or if you're looking to purchase to hold, you're going to have different conversations with people. But you need to understand what it is you're going to have a conversation about and how you're ultimately going to get an answer, and make sure they have the people who are going to be the ones you want to talk to. So it's getting the maximum results with the minimum work. And so we're looking at powerful tips for effective building lists for anything. This doesn't only work for real estate, right? If you were running a network marketing business, this would be something that you would use as well. It's just how to build the list and how to focus on what it is you need. So the first thing is defining your audience. That's like the most important thing to understand. Just going out there, I know people do well that buy a list of one zip code. Anybody who has a house in that zip code has been living there for 5 years. But quite frankly, nowadays, everybody's shooting at the same people. So you want to make sure you define your audience a little clearer than everyone else is doing. That'll just give you a little foot up. We contact thousands of people a week. We buy, so just so you know, we buy between 50 and 100 houses a month. So we are constantly networking, going out there and trying to find houses. You want to determine the results, not necessarily, you need to understand the results you want, as well as the results that the person you're talking to is looking for. What's their problem? So we're going to talk about that. What questions do they have? What roadblocks are in their way? These are all important things to understand before you make that first call. So more is better. I don't know. More options or better quality? If you're out there and you're first beginning, you're just looking for everybody. You're trying to get in the marketplace and get it moving. But at some point, you're going to have a defined group of people you want to talk to and defined houses that you're looking for. And you're going to want better quality is a lot less time than more options. When you prepare to talk to people and to decide who you're going to target, you're going to have your answers based on your marketing. So if you use targeted marketing, for example, we use Mailbox Power to select private money lenders who are in specific zip codes with a specific income range, with a specific age limit, and that own houses and that are investors. So we're very tight when we do that, and we take a list that was 40,000 and we got it down to, I think it's 1,300 in total. But it's very targeted for that market, right? If you're just going out there and you're putting up bandit signs, using billboards, or you're just getting a list of one area code, that is not a targeted marketplace. And that's fine. You just need to understand who you're going to be talking to when you do it targeted versus untargeted. So who is your audience? You know, when you're looking to buy houses, your gender probably doesn't matter. Whether they're professional or not probably doesn't matter. Their age may, though. You're probably not going to want someone under 30, because even if they own a home, they've probably just bought it and they're not going to be in the market to want to sell it to you. Retired, you may want to know that because it may be someone who wants to get rid of, they've been a landlord for a while and they want to get rid of their houses. Marital status, I don't ever use that, but I'm sure it can be useful at times. If you're targeting people who are getting divorced, you probably want to see a separation there, right? Homeowners, you're definitely going to want to target if you're looking for houses. An IRA with a specific dollar amount is something that you want to target if you're going out looking for private money. And when I talk about private money for us and our company, we do that. We raise money from people that we know and know us and trust us. And starting in July, we're actually going to be having a fund where we're going to be raising money, and we're going to do it with advertising. At least that's the belief at this point in time. So having an IRA is very important to us to know. What's their income range? You probably don't care about people earning $20,000 or less if you're looking for a private money lender. However, if they own a home, you're going to be interested in them. So it depends on what you're looking for. Grown children, children at home, I never look at that. And I can't think of why in the real estate marketplace you might, but it's there in case you want to define the audience. But again, figure out who it is you want to talk to, because your questions are going to be geared towards those people. So every slide I have, it's going to tell you, have at least 5, right? You want to be able, so what are the results they're looking for? When you're talking to a buyer and you've targeted them that you know they want to sell their house, maybe they're in foreclosure. So you know they're going to want to sell quickly because they want to get out of the situation they're in. So they're going to say that's the result they want. So how are you going to make the discussion with them work to let them know without telling them, well, I know you're in foreclosure and that's why I'm calling you, right? You never want to do that. But you want to say, we're looking to buy homes in this neighborhood. Your house fits our profile perfectly. We can close quickly. We can close on your timeline. Are you interested in selling your house? You already know that they have a need to sell. So when you're targeting them and you're saying that, it's going to strike a chord with their needs. And that's what I mean about they have a result they want, try and strike the chord with it, right? If they're an older couple who've been in their house for 30 years and they want to slowly move their stuff out, well, they want to sit there for a while. If it's a short sale, you have to be able to wait until the bank makes a decision. Understand that when you make the phone call, and it makes it easier to already give them what they're looking for. So you're going to perk their interest to keep on the phone a little longer. And are they looking for a move into a ready home? Are they looking to move into a rehab? So if you're selling the home, right, you want to know what condition. So I will tell you what we've done in the past is we've sold totally rehabbed homes, and we've also done prehabbed homes, meaning it's good enough for someone to move into who can afford it, right, without having the extra expense of a fully rehabbed home. So when you're selling a house like that, it's a different conversation. So that's a different need. So understand what your buyers, sellers, or lenders are looking for and have the results ready, because then you can gear your conversation right from the get-go on how to make this work. Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody get what I'm trying to get at? Chase, I appreciate those thumbs up because you're the only person I see. And what are the problems they're looking to solve? Very similar to the first thing, right? Have at least 5, whatever the 5 are, and again, target your market. Does somebody, they're talking to you on the phone and they say, oh, it's going to be really tough. I can't close quick. My house is full of 30 years worth of stuff. I have to get it together and figure out how I'm moving it. And you can come in and say, well, that's great. And if you'd like, we can maybe help you with that, because we're happy to take the house with everything in it. Take whatever it is you want and leave the rest. Or if they want to take it all with them, depending upon how you've priced the house, that's great. If you need help with that, we'll be happy. We can send a mover in, box things up, and have it ready for you. You can find a solution if you understand the problem. If they're in foreclosure, their problem is they need to get this closed quickly, and they want to make sure that they can improve their credit score, right? So you can't get rid of bad credit if they've been late, but what you can do is make sure they don't go into foreclosure and really ruin their credit for 7 years. So you're going to say, once you get the ball rolling and they've mentioned, well, they have to get out really quickly, and well, we can do that for you. And if you need, sometimes what happens is they need a period of time from when you're going to buy the house versus when the foreclosure is going to happen, right? So let's say the foreclosure is going to happen 3 days from now, but they can't close, they can't really move and get out for another week. Well, you can help them fill that gap for them and hold up the bank from foreclosing on them in many times. Be careful when you have people who are in foreclosure or a short sale, but particularly foreclosure. I used to, back in the day, I would go to auctions, and if somebody won a property that I was interested in, I would then go to that property and knock on the door and talk to the person and ask them, explain that, I was at the auction this morning and their house was put on the block, and I would like to offer you $10,000 more so you'll get money in your pocket and it'll still satisfy the need of the bank or the auction company. And you get very interesting answers. So one of the answers was, oh, my lawyer's taking care of it. I don't have to worry. I know I didn't lose my house. Well, hey, guy, they absolutely lost it. It's gone. There's nothing they can do about it, but they have blinders on. So be very cautious with these people. They're very delicate and they lie to themselves a lot. So it's really tough. Another one said to me, my wife has a brain tumor and I know I'm going to lose the house, but I'm not leaving until someone packs me out of here. You never know the answer you're going to get. And then you'll get the answer of, well, that makes sense. Yeah, I'd be interested. How can you help me? Right? So be careful with foreclosures. It really is a sensitive place for people to be in. Short sales are sensitive, but people have the time. It's not as bad as a foreclosure in many cases, not in all cases. We've waited months to buy houses that have been on foreclosure, but I'm sorry, been on short sale. But you, again, want to be cognizant of the person you're talking to. They're losing their house because the mortgage is too high on a house that isn't worth the value that they have, right? So don't make them feel badly. Again, think about the questions before you talk to them, and you'll be able to address it in the conversations and have a much better rate of, if not yes, at least people that are willing to talk to you and walk through a process and help you learn. And what questions or objections do they have that are going to need answers? You know, if you're making a cold call to somebody that you've just gotten a list from, they don't know you from Adam, I can tell you, why do you want my house? That's like a very typical answer. Well, you know, I've been walking this neighborhood. I really like it. This is where, and don't, I know sometimes people manipulate the truth. I don't lie to people. You know, I am an investor. I love this neighborhood. It's a perfect neighborhood to improve and make the house and the neighborhood better and improve the neighborhood. And, you know, we then sell the houses. Or we really like this neighborhood because it's a great place for people to raise children and we want to hold it and rent it to families, right? Don't lie, but have an answer. How did you get my number? Well, I either bought a list or I went to town hall. You understand that your phone number is a public record. You can get it once I have an address, and it's easy enough to get the address from town hall. I did not do anything illegal or immoral to get it. And then, you know, the favorite one, Zillow says my house is worth $1 million and you're coming in and offering me 100,000. So just that's going to come up, right? Be prepared for it. Zillow uses a specific algorithm that is very seldom on target for the actual value of the house. And here's why I'm offering you this price. It's based on what you've told me. You've said that this house is, 40 years old, that you've made no upgrades to the house, that you've been there all this time. And I'm assuming then that it's going to need certain things. Now, if you've replaced them, let's talk about that, because then the price would go up, right? They're going to have the question. Be ready with an answer. Having the questions and the objections met before you start is just going to make the conversation easier and, again, give you the best possible results from your phone calls or your direct mail list. What roadblocks do they have? So what in their brain is stopping them? I talked briefly about the foreclosure where they're just in total denial. And quite frankly, in those cases, there's nothing you can do. If they just choose to deny, you could sit there and talk to you blue in the face and maybe you'll get through to them, but it's probably not the best use of your time. I don't believe it'll work. I don't think you can come in here and close in 2 weeks. And well, if you've done it before, I can show you. I've done this before. I closed on this house 3 weeks after I signed the contract. And the only thing that held it up the additional week was the appraiser from the bank, right? Or whatever it is. I don't know where I'll move. Now, I'll tell you guys, today, that's a serious problem. And this is almost all over the country. JJ, I'm sure in your group, you hear the same thing I do. I don't care if you're in the middle of Omaha, Idaho, in the desert. It doesn't matter right now. If people sell their property, there's nothing for them to buy. And frequently, there's nothing to rent. And the reason for that is there's a 2.5 million housing shortage in the United States. So there's not enough houses for everybody to move in. So this is a real tough one. If you happen to have a house that would fit their needs, if they're dumbing down and you want to build up this house and you have a rehabbed house that would fit, that would be something you can help them with. But it's a serious concern that they would have, and think about how you would answer it. I don't have a good solution. And again, it would depend on the neighborhood, but it's something that even when I talk to retail sellers, right, they'd love to sell their house now, but they don't have a place to move, so they're not going anywhere. I don't want inspections. I don't want somebody walking through my house. Well, that's it. And again, if this is a true statement, right? We don't hire inspectors. We walk through people's homes and we make the estimate on our own. But we've been doing this a long time. We know what we're looking at, and we have people who are trained, right? So you can say, well, that's great. We don't need an inspector. We're going to come, take a look at the house, make sure it meets the criteria that we've talked about. And if it's good, we'll make you an offer on the spot. And that's what we do. But don't say you're not going to require an inspection if you in fact are. Again, being truthful is so much better than anything else. And that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you tips on how to build a list, not getting the actual names and addresses. Like I said, Chris Potico and probably half the people on this call can tell you how to do that. But really defining who it is you want to talk to, what you want to talk to them about, what their problem is, what the roadblocks they have, what obstacles do they have. Being prepared to answer those questions will increase your ability to get a yes, which of course is what we all want to do, right?